Good morning, Noel. Test check. Good morning, Noel. It's currently 7:44 on the 6th of February. I just want to show you how quickly this can be done as opposed to writing it up and proofing. So this is one lesson for one of the 13 components out of the Excel unit in business, and this happens to be my strongest area. So I've just clicked on the Excel icon here to open it in the toolbar. I could have gone here and typed in the search bar Excel and opened it this way. Either or, I would have got to the same place, or I could have gone here and under these tools in Windows 10 or 11 opened up Excel here. This is for the 2016 version. I'm opening up a new file. Now what I need to do today is just teach you how to add, subtract, multiply and divide. So we remember from the previous lesson that an Excel sheet is divided into rows and columns, and the intersection of those rows and columns are referenced as a cell, and we start by labeling those individual cells so we know precisely where on the sheet we are, and we always start with a letter. So the name of this cell here is B for column B, 2 for row 2, and we know this because in this part of the corner we have a cell reference. Now what we're going to, because we're doing mathematics, which is essentially what Excel is for, I'm going to put my cursor in a cell where I want the answer. Now just by convenience I'm going to choose cell F2. This is B2, C2, E2, D2, E2, F2. To turn on your calculator you have to press the equals key, and then I'm just going to add two numbers. So B2 I use anywhere on the keyboard, preferably the number keypad, plus C2 equals. Now because there's nothing in those cells, I'm going to get 0. Now that these cells are formulated, and I'll just box these so we can see where we're working. Ignore this is a different class, and this is where the answers will be. I'm going to go 10 plus 10 and we should get 20. Okay. Now there's another way, in fact I'm going to take that out. I'm going to put my workings here. Nothing, and then thick outside. Okay. And now I'm going to highlight these. Well, firstly I want to show you another way. So I'm going to go 10 plus 10, 10 plus 10, sorry, 10 and 10, 10 and 10, 10 and 10. Now this is all of the ways to add. Notice I've just gone cell plus cell. Next I'm going to go equals and use the formula for sum, sum being the arithmetic term for a total. Sum bracket, click on cell B3 and drag it to cell C3. Now close the brackets. Now that is precisely the same arithmetic outcome a different way. Cell plus cell, or cell or for a group. Now if I go here, double click on cell CF, I can change that C3 to D3. Nope, just D3, enter. Nothing's changed, but if I now happen to add in a third unit of 10, this increments obviously by 10, and if you double click we get a highlighted box of where my answer is and what cells I've used to do this. Now there's one other type of addition. Well actually I'm just going to go 10 and 10. Now I've been adding up across the row. I now want to add up down the column. So I go equals, turns on the calculator, sum, which says add up, bracket, and just click on where I want to start this column and drag it down with my left key on the mouse depressed, close the bracket. I will get 30. Shock horror. So you can add across the column, across the row, down the column. So we're just going to say A, B, C, D. This is 4 different ways to add. Now, most importantly, we're now going to do an area add. E. If I now go equals to turn on my calculator, sum, because it's an add up, bracket, I can now click on B2 and drag my mouse while holding down the left key, the left mouse key, to include those 6 units of 10. I'm releasing my mouse key, closing the brackets and hitting enter, and sure enough it adds up to 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 10 is 60. No surprises. So here we have A, B, C, D, E. I'm going to introduce, now this is what we call a formula, because we've used a function within Excel to get your preferred number. Now there's another type of thing that we can do to count or add up non-numerical items. So here at the bottom of this column, column A, in cell A11, I'm going to go equals, and then I'm going to type in a count function. There's several count functions. COUNTA, open bracket, and just highlight everything, cells 2 to 10, column A through 2 to 10, close the bracket, and I'm going to get a number of 5, because this function has counted the letters A, B, C, D, E, and because I've put these blank cells into the area that has this formula applying to it, if I now add a P there, that numeral 5 should increment to 6, and if I take out D for Delta, or E for Echo rather, it will revert back to numeral 5 as the count of how many items in this particular part of the spreadsheet that I've applied the formula to. Just to review, we've been looking at addition, brackets and count. Remember, to turn on your calculator, click the equals key, and then I've just gone, in this instance, cell plus cell. Okay, so B2 plus C2. Here I've used a formula that goes across more than 2 cells. So it's equals, turns on the calculator. The function or the formula is sum for add ups or totals. And I've applied a total function against the cells, the cell range B3 to D3. I haven't done anything here, but what I have done is I've put another number here. Now, because row B is a means to show that you can add horizontally, cell D3 is a means to show that you can add vertically. And notice when I double click on a formularized cell, or a cell where there is mathematics applied to that, or the answer cell for another way to say it, Excel highlights the cells that have this formula applied to it. And most importantly, so you can go plus cell, you can go sum by horizontal range, sum by vertical range. And what did I do here? Nothing in particular. Sum by area range. Notice, sum by area range. So you don't have to only go across the row and down the column. You can go across the row as well as down the column in one foul swoop. Why would we bother? Very quickly, I'm just going to insert a row and call this row here a total. And I'm going to go equals sum bracket, and I'm going to highlight that row. At the moment, I have a sum of 30. Now, notice in the green bracket here, we have a solid block in the bottom right hand of the highlighted cell. As I hover over that, my mouse cursor changes from a large plus sign in white with a black outline to a small plus sign that is only a black cross. When I left click on that raised bottom right corner, I can left click and drag across. And look at that, that's copied that formula for that cell, for that column, into this cell for that column. And I'm just going to change this. Okay, I'm just going to delete that for now. But if I go Control X to cut and Control V to paste, notice, and I'll extend that, just click on that and drag it down on the bottom left hand corner. I now have 3 columns, each of which offer me a total of 30. I'm going to add up across the row, plus sum bracket, highlight the cells in the row I want to include in the total, close bracket, enter. Now I've got that there, and I just want to drag this down. So notice green outline of the cell I've selected and a solid square in the bottom right hand corner. Hover over that square. I know I've successfully hovered over the square because my mouse cursor has changed. Drag it down to affect that. Now if I go in this cell, I'm going to go total row, just as a label, equals sum. In F2, click and with my left hand finger depressed, drag, bracket, enter. I've got a total of 90. Okay, and that's not row, that's column. So I'm now going to go total row, and I'm going to add up this row here. So equals sum bracket, click and drag these 3 columns. Oh, 90. So surprisingly, 9 tens is 90 this way, 9 tens is 90 this way, but what it means is that I've actually got a calculation happening. So that proves that these are correct where they match. There's one other way. I'm going to go total area and go equals sum bracket, click and drag across all of those 9 cells, close bracket, enter. There's 3 different methods to add up. That should be N, that should be N, and that's the essential elements of adding up in Excel. This ends the lesson. Thank you for your time and your trouble.